welcome to another episode of Youth Pulse. The National Youth Council of Dominica is pleased to bring to you your weekly youth news and highlights. My name is Priska Julian, and after this short break, I will be back with this week's youth highlights. Stay with us.
Child abuse is unacceptable.
You are condoning child abuse if you don't report it. You are condoning child sexual abuse if you keep silent about it.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
An education official is encouraging parents to spend more time teaching their children to read. He was speaking at the quarterfinals of the DBS Radio reading competition, which took place at the Public Service Union Hall on Wednesday.
In 2014, we had 80% of the girls reading up or above their level as compared to 63% of the boys. And on the flip side, we had only 12% of the girls, the grade 2 girls, reading at grade K level, as opposed to 26.7 or 27% of the boys reading at grade K level while they are in grade 2. Stats don't lie, so I guess parents and teachers know what they need to do. Parents, we have to pull up our socks. We at the Ministry of Education will let the teachers pull up their socks, but parents, we cannot let you pull up your socks, you have to pull it up yourself.
18 students will move to the semi-finals, and the finalists of this year's competition will move on to the regional Courts OECS reading competition. The reigning champ is Louis Aarons of the Pioneer Prep. And the Western District Youth Council, in collaboration with the St. Joseph Youth Group, held an African movie night on Tuesday. This event was directly linked to the Africa Week celebrations, which took place in late May. Member of the group and project officer at the National Youth Council, Mr. Early Pierre, commented on the event.
The movie night was part of Africa Observation for 2015. Africa Week was actually officially held on or commemorated on the 25th of May. But our activity was done on the 11th of June because for some complications that we had with weather and so on at the specific date. But we actually took it on and we completed the task anyway. So it was the 11th. The movies that we showed were one, Selma, which is a 2014 historical dramatical film. Talking about the plight of the people from Montgomery, spearheaded by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So I think it was a very good outlook on the positivity that Black people had to face in the civil rights era. The second movie that we looked at was The Ludicrous, which is a 1991 Jamaican comedy. And I feel The Ludicrous brought back a lot of nostalgia to a lot of the people who were on the back street in St. Joseph. So I think we had a combination of a new movie and an old movie, which went on very well.
The Western District Youth Council held its last general meeting on Saturday, 19th June, where they chatted the way forward. As we follow up with the different district youth councils around Ireland, we will keep you updated on youth events. When we come back, a group on the West highlights a father on Father's Day, and we'll be right back.
The black cicatoca fungus can survive on banana and plantain leaves even after they have been cut from the tree. Please dispose of diseased, dead and dying leaves by stacking them upside down in one. Do not remove trash from place to place. Arrest the spread of black cicatoca today. Help save our banana and plantain industry.
Child abuse is unacceptable.
You are condoning child abuse if you don't report it. You are condoning child sexual abuse if you keep silent about it.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266 3080.
Thanks for staying with us. On this year's Father's Day 2015, the youth of the village of Monrachet saw it fit to honor a father. The Monrachet youth group brought cheer to this father as they graciously brought to him a hamper. President of the Monrachet youth group, Miss Alicia Adrian, spoke with us.
The Monrachet youth group this Father's Day gave Mr. Rawson John Baptist a food hamper. We first started by raising funds by having a raffle of 2 bottles of wine, and the money was spent towards purchasing the item for Mr. Rawson. Also, the National Youth Council sponsored us some funds which assisted us in purchasing the item. Mr. Rawson is a blind man from the village of Monrachet, and the Monrachet Youth Group gave him a food hamper on Father's Day.
The Monrachet Youth Group will be holding its general elections and half-year meeting as they chart a way forward. Miss Adrian spoke to us about the group and some of the accomplishments for the last 6 months.
The Monrachet Youth Group was formed on June 12, 2010 with a mission to foster togetherness, community enhancement and youth awareness. The group consists of 15 members at present. I became the president on June 12, 2013. The other executive members are Vice President Masha Roye, Secretary Leanne Adrian, Assistant Secretary Carla Fritz, Treasurer Shemon John Baptist, and PRO. One of the first activities we did on the establishment of 2 elderly persons in the village who were presented with hampers during the Christmas time.
We will follow this story and bring you an update on the youth group's upcoming activities and new executive. And on Wednesday, the National Cooperative Credit Union held its awards ceremony for its Youth Week 2015. In April 2015, the National Cooperative Credit Union celebrated Youth Week under the theme Wild About Savings. At the awards ceremony, Mrs. Louis Julian Grell, marketing officer at the NCCU, said 3 creative competitions formed part of the activities: the primary school's art, the NCCU youth account branding for secondary schools, and an amateur's photography and videography competition, which was open to youth ages 16 to 25. The objective was to engage children and young persons to creatively express themselves on the theme using a medium they enjoy: art, music, photography, and videography. She also stated that the staff was pleased with the response and interest generated by the competitions. Junior Marketing Officer at the NCCU, Monique Jeffrey, also shared the same sentiments. In speaking to us, she said the NCCU wanted to generate interest in saving among the young people of Dominica.
They were to encourage youth to start learning about savings, get them more excited about savings, which was the theme of this week, Wild About Savings.
In the primary school's art competition, Rishon Yonis took first place, followed by Samara Stevens in second place and Javon Azar in third place. Consolation prizes were given to Naya Saint-Ville, Roger Roll, and Abigail Fontaine. In the secondary school account branding competition, winners included Shemer Dover of the Convent High School and Nadel George of the Castlebruce Secondary School. Consolation prizes were given to Janae Jackson and Jade Roberts of the Convent High School. The third area of the competition was the amateur photography video competition, in which first place was won by Jordan Jerome, second place Tamika Balson, and Dwight Lugay in third place. That's it for our youth news segment of Youth Pulse today. The Dominica's psychology students are coming together to create an association, and our very own Candice Benjamin sat with some of these members as we find out more.
Welcome to the Let's Talk segment of Youth Pulse. I am your host, Candice Benjamin, and today I will be talking about the Dominica Psychological Society with Miss Williams and Miss Waldron. Okay, thank you for joining us on the show. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Ms. Williams?
Okay, my name is Kewana Williams. I am a counselor at the Bureau for Gender Affairs. I have a master's in counseling psychology, and I am a member of the steering committee that was put together to join the Dominica, to form, the Dominica Psychological Society.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Waldron?
Hi, my name is Leslie Ann Waldron. I am a clinical psychologist, a Master's of Science in Clinical Psychology. However, I presently work as the hospital social welfare officer at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Like Kewana, I'm also part of the steering committee, actually putting things together to form our Dominica Psychological Society.
Okay, so let's give our viewers a little overview of what is the Dominica Psychological Society.
Okay, basically this idea is something that has been in the pipeline for a while, where we felt that we needed some form of association, some form of organized group to represent psychological professions, because we believe that too often a lot of people use the term specifically counselor very loosely. Okay. I'm a counselor without any qualifications, without any practice, without following any ethical guidelines, etc. So one of our main objectives is to actually promote and protect the whole ethical standards, the dignity of the psychological profession.
Okay, so you'll basically be disseminating knowledge, information.
Yes, we will.
All right, thank you. And where did the idea come from? What made you decide to, well, you said that, you know, it's from people using the terms loosely, but where exactly did the idea come from?
So as we said, like different people from within our psychological groups and people with degrees in psychology, practicing in psychology, always believe that we should have such a group. I must say that Dr. Shani Shillingford and even Mr. Macmillan Coffey were instrumental in starting off this group. And we believe that having this group would actually have us more organized and to have a voice where we could represent psychological professions. And as I said, not just being used loosely as I'm a counselor, I'm a psychologist.
Okay. So apart from giving out the information, giving out the knowledge, what other goals do you have? What are the aims? What would you like to see happening through the group?
One of our objectives would be in terms of counseling, that presently in Dominica there's a lot of counselors with just a bachelor's in psychology. You should not be counseling at a bachelor's level, you should be counseling at a master's level. A bachelor's in psychology doesn't train you to be a counselor, a master's does.
Okay, all right.
And also we would like to have an official legislation in terms of laws, and one of the things we are really looking forward to is licensure when in terms of private practice, because there are people who do private practice, most people do it within an institution, but as to opening up an office like the medical board, there's a form of licensure. So we believe that with our society, then we could have an actual legislation, an actual template that we follow as to how we go about doing that.
Okay, so if I wanted to open up a private office, what would the license be?
And right now there's no licensure,
oh,
so that's one of our objectives, to actually have that legislation. And we're in the process of actually drafting our policy, our constitution. I know that Dr. Shani Shillingford, as I said, she has been networking with different psychological associations throughout the region, and we have been actually working and putting together our constitution.
But that license, it exists already elsewhere?
Elsewhere, but not in Dominica.
Like in the US, you can't practice on a bachelor's. You have to have a master's degree, you have to do a national exam, and then you have to be supervised for at least 2 years.
Okay, all right. And are you currently working alongside any other organization, any government organization who will help you see your goals through?
Right now we are not working with anyone because we're still in the phase where just our steering committee has been meeting. We have had a number of meetings, but it is our goal to actually meet with other groups and specifically the medical board to find out what is the procedure to go through licensure and everything.
Apart from the medical board, what other organizations would you like to see yourself working with?
Well, we know, for example, there have recently been formed the NGO for child sexual abuse, and there's different things dealing with psychological health, emotional wellness. So,
right. How does one become a member of the Dominica Psychological Society?
Okay, we usually have we have subheadings. We have member, where you have to have at least a bachelor's degree. Graduate member, where you have to have a master's degree, and in order to be on the executive board, you're going to have to be at the master's level. We also have student members, whereby if you're a student at the Dominica State College and you want to become a member, you're going to have to apply. So we have a form.
Okay.
There's an application form that needs to be filled. There's also fees.
Okay.
Fees. So you get the form, you fill it out. We would need a certified copy of your certificate if you're a graduate. If you're a student, we would like to know where you're presently enrolled. And then you actually get it back to me, because I'm not the secretary, but the person doing all the writing right about now.
So you don't exactly have an executive, you're still in the forming stages?
Our executive will be formed next month when we have our annual general meeting.
Okay, so that will be your official luncheon?
Yes.
Okay, so also would I source the forms directly for
Yes, we have a list already of individuals with degrees in psychology or psychological in nature. I will be emailing these forms to people on this list, but however, there are people which I'm still missing. So I have an email address. It's called dominicapsychologicalsociety@gmail.com. So if they send an email, attention Miss Williams, I will email them the form.
Okay, so you mentioned that, psychologists, you'll be basically joining the group. What are the benefits to somebody in the psychological profession to join in the group personally, like concerning their career goals? What are the benefits of joining?
Well, for a fact, we are looking forward to doing trainings. So networking is very important with people within our field. And even as part of the steering committee, we're already looking forward to the Caribbean Psychological Association has their annual conference in Haiti next year, so we're looking forward to going to that. When you go to these conferences, you get to network a lot, get a lot of information, get to do learn new things, meet new people, and even participate in research. And that's one of the things why we think it would be very beneficial for students specifically to actually join the group so that we could help to work with different methods of research, etc. So professionally and academically, it really helps.
So you have that influence?
Yes, we will.
Okay, that's good. Okay, and you said your official luncheon will be, when did you say again?
July 8th.
July 8th, so that's something we can look forward to.
Yes, and you'll be hearing more from us, Kiwana specifically, over the media talking about July 8th and doing promotions.
Okay, all right. Also, for those in the psychological profession, what would you, well, those upcoming ones, what would your advice be to them? Because a lot of people think that the chances of, really operating here in Dominica in a psychological profession, the chances are kind of slim. So what would be your advice to them?
Okay, generally I believe there is a stigma, not just towards people who have psychological problems or mental health issues, but also towards people who work in that field, because we are normally related to each other and related to our clients, etc. But I believe that over the past few years, there has been an increase in awareness in the need for psychological and emotional help. And people have actually been coming out. At the hospital, we see it happening all the time. So someone who is actually deciding to pursue that type of education and who is doing it right now should be encouraged to continue and do not, let's just ignore the whole taboo and everything to do with it. And we believe that with more awareness, and that's one of the things that the Psychological Society will be doing, raising awareness to make people know that it is okay. We all go through problems, we all have challenges, and you can do this together with us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I would like to add as well for the upcoming counselors that don't stop at the bachelor's level. Ensure that you get a master's, because we are evolving, and a bachelor's degree in psychology is not going to get you a job eventually. You're going to have to keep on continuing to educate yourself.
So you should get it at the highest level.
Exactly.
Okay. And Ms. Waldron, you mentioned stigmas. So you think that in order for the occupations to, really persist, the stigma needs to be broken both among the people who are suffering from psychological problems and the people who hope to pursue those careers. Yeah. Okay, good.
And those of us who are actually practicing it, because there's a stigma. People say all the time, you all are crazy, that's why you, and we use those words. Yes, that's why you all can deal with these people. So, and that's what the importance of awareness is. And I always say, it could be me, it could be you. So when we let people know that.
And because of that, there's a fear among the people who are, suffering with these things. They're afraid to come out. But, as we progress,
I believe they're coming out more now than before. So there's hope in the future.
Okay, all right. Do you have any closing statements, anything you would like to tell your audience before you leave?
Register, request our forms, join the association.
Okay, can you just give us a reminder of your contact information?
Okay, just ensure that I have it. Yep. Here we go. Dominica Psychological Society @gmail.com. Would you like me to spell it out for you?
Yes.
Just so that our listeners. DOMINICA PSYCHOLOGICAL SOCIETY @gmail. That's GMAIL.com.
And do you have a number that we can also contact you on?
Not presently.
Okay. So we expect great things from the Dominica Psychological Society in the near future. Thanks for joining us once again, Ms. Williams and Ms. Waldron.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bikers, always wear the proper gear when riding your bikes. Helmet up, jacket up, glove up. Bikers, without your helmet, without your jacket, without your glove, you can really get broken up. So gab up.
A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee.
You should jam me.
Be smart. Don't use cell phones while crossing the street. Be safe. Use the pedestrian crossing. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back. At this point into Youth Pulse, we will now hear from the star of the week, the winner of the Youth in Entrepreneurship Awards for this year's National Youth Awards, Mr. Grayson John. You might know him as Big G.
My name is Grayson John, also known as Big G, from La Roche, Dailies.
Okay, Grayson, can you tell us something or more information about your business?
Well, I'm into flavored pepper sauces. I do 21 different flavors in pepper sauce. My initial idea was to develop a smokery to do flavored smoked products like ham, bacon, sausages, and stuff like that. Then the pepper sauce was one of my future products, but now it's like my present product.
Okay, how did you go into pepper sauce instead of the flavored ones?
Well, one day I decided to try a pepper sauce, and after I tried it, I started to give certain neighbors to sample the sauce, and they enjoyed it, they liked it. So I tried out one particular restaurant in town, and they used to call me like every other day because them tourists used to like the sauce. So then I started to go in different to different restaurants, and I get the same response. So then I used to use the Carib beer bottle, and I used to use a champagne cork and put Scotch tape to label on the pepper sauce. So then I did that from February to about June, February to June, and then somebody tell me about some covers I could get from Mr. BZ, he doing the honey. So I started to get the covers from him to cover the bottle. But then at first I take part in the Dominica Youth Business Trust Small Business Training Program, where I won the BPI Award, the Business Innovative Plan Award. That was a cash award. So I used that money to develop my labels and to start to buy the original bottles to put the pepper sauce.
Okay, so we're going to come back into how you go about developing your product, but you said that you have 21 flavors of pepper sauce. Yeah. Is it different types of peppers, or where do your flavors come from? What are they?
Well, the flavors is the actual ingredient I use to flavor, to add flavor to the sauce. So if I have a coconut pepper sauce or coffee pepper sauce, I use in the actual coffee or the coconut, or the, let's say, turmeric or ginger, using the actual ginger.
So those are actual flavors that you have: coconut pepper sauce,
coconut,
and coffee pepper sauce?
Yeah.
What are some of the other interesting ones that you have?
I have turmeric, I have roasted garlic, roasted peppers, red and yellow. I have the plain garlic, passion fruit, tomato, sorrel, avocado, but most of them are seasonal.
Wow, so that must be something, because you say the tourists and
yeah.
They like it.
Yeah.
What other businesses, like if I want to go out and purchase your pepper sauces, where can I find it?
Well, right now the pepper sauce is available at mostly all them supermarkets in town. Save-A-Lot, Whitchurch, Astafans, Greens, both the wholesale and in yeah. What else?
And well, that's quite an achievement. 21 flavors of pepper sauce, and you have in so many stores, retail and wholesale. Do you have different sizes for pepper sauce?
No, for now I do in the only the 5 ounce bottles.
Okay. And so with developing your product, what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome along the way?
Well, mainly is the bottles. To sell the bottles locally kind of costly. It costly. So you can only buy a certain amount when you make a certain amount of cash flow. I would honestly tell them, like, go for it, stop procrastinating, and that's what you have to do. Because cooking is something I love doing, and I'll never know I'd end up doing pepper sauce and be making something out of it. Well, I have a different line of products coming up. I have seasoning sauces coming up and salad dressings. So I actually have a new one I think I'll introduce to the supermarkets by next week. That's turmeric seasoning sauce.
Okay, so that's good stuff. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
And we wish you the best with your endeavors.
All right, thanks.
That was Grayson John, also known as Big G. 21 flavors of pepper sauce, representing some of the flavors Dominica has to offer. Don't forget to look out for Big G's pepper sauces. But for now, let us learn some Creole with Mr. Rabes.
Sou parler créole, nous allons parler de temps l'hivernage. Temps l'hivernage. En anglais, the wet season or the hurricane season. Temps l'hivernage. Et puis, en temps l'hivernage, bon, il y a l'eau, la pluie. Il y a l'eau, la pluie. It is, definitely there's a lot of rain, okay? Et puis, nous avons dit, bon, si la pluie a tombé, if the rain is falling, that's the expression. La pluie a tombé. In your low la pluie, there's a lot of rain. As a result of that, la rivière a descend. La rivière a descend. The river is flooding. En temps l'hivernage, peut-être il y a une tempête. During the hurricane season, possibly there will be storms. Tempête, storms. Parfois, il y a un cool vent. Sometimes there may be hurricanes, cool vent, hurricanes. Sometimes people say, parfois, moun ka di cyclone. cyclone, ou peut-être il y a dit cool temps aussi. So, il y a plusieurs mots pour parler de cyclone, tempête, et puis tout ça. Mais tempête, ça veut dire en anglais storm, mais cool vent, c'est hurricane. Ça, c'est la différence là. Si en temps l'hivernage, il y a une low action, en temps. There's a lot of action in the weather during temps l'hivernage. That's it for parler créole. Ça, c'est tout petit parler créole nous aujourd'hui à ce temps l'hivernage.
Thank you, Mr. Rebes. Still to come after this break, Mark Owije and your youth-related bulletin. Stay tuned.
Child abuse is unacceptable.
You are condoning child abuse if you don't report it. You are condoning child sexual abuse if you keep silent about it.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
Hello? Listen, you have to call me back because I'm going to cross the street. Okay, bye.
Be smart. Don't use cell phones while crossing the street. Be safe. Use the pedestrian crossing. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.
Thank you for staying with us. And now for your youth bulletin. There is a basketball tournament at the village of Salisbury at the Salisbury Beach Court. 8 team spaces are available and there is a $5 registration fee for teams. First prize is $300, second prize $90, and the third prize $60. To register or get more information, call 767-276-9256. The Woman of the Bible Competition 2015 is on and will take place on the 31st of July at Harlem Plaza in Newtown. The contest starts at 7 p.m. Tickets for VIP cost $30 while regular tickets are $20. Children under the age of 12 pay $10. Zion Praise Production is holding a summer Fun Under the Sun event on Monday, 3rd August from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Macushery Savannah. Entry costs $10 for adults and $5 for children. Artists includes Positive from Trinidad, DJ Alfie, Sanctified, and more. Also, the Convent High School Choir, Sign Language Club, and Choral Speech Club together are hosting an event named The Coloring Book at the Convent High School Auditorium on Friday 3rd and Sunday 5th of July. Students pay $10 for entry, while adults tickets cost $15. And that's it for this week's bulletin. Just before we sign out, let's get our weekly motivation from Ma Owije.
Peekaboo, you see me? I see you too. My name is Ma Owije, and I'm here to motivate you, talk to you about your school life. Yes. Now becoming educated is a lifelong process. It can be hard and frustrating at times, but it can also be incredibly exciting and enriching. Most importantly, learning and educating can help you to change the world, become a better person, reach your potential, eliminate your fears, make up for the mistakes of the past life, and support your family. So remember, stay in school. It's all about your education. Yes, George Washington Carver said, and I quoted it, education is the key to unlock the golden door to freedom. Remember, Ma Owije tell you, get excited about your education and stay in school, all right?
And that was Ma Owije with your motivation for the week. Remember the other platforms of the National Youth Council of Dominica, where you can catch up on all things youth-related. Check out our Facebook page, YouTube channel, Instagram, and Twitter. Youth Camera Action is on every Wednesday on MARPIIN 2K Force Channel 5 at 8:30 p.m. On radio, you can catch us every Monday at 5 p.m. with Youth Can Move on Posse Vibration and Youth Vibes on Saturdays at 2 p.m. on DBS. And of course, Youth Pulse on every Thursday evening on the Government Information Service. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Youth Pulse. My name is Priska Julian. Youth Pulse was brought to you by the National Youth Council of Dominica in collaboration with the Government Information Services.